Have we got you there, Andre?
Andre,
Hey, how you going, guys?
There he is.
there is our number one political correspondent.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us.
Not a problem. Well, like you guys were saying earlier, there's quite a great deal in the news this week, in particular the budget. But before we get on to that, one of the big news stories today is a number of journalists from the Mercury are striking.
That's right.
The MEAA has been reporting, as has a number of the big papers and the ABC, that the Fairfax company will be shedding roughly 70 jobs, and 40 of those jobs will be photographers, some of them who have been with the paper for many decades.
How long's the strike been going on for, Andre?
Well, the strike's been going on since this morning. The union that represents journalists, which is the Media, Entertainment and Arts Alliance, has said that staff were given 20 minutes notice yesterday that they could possibly be losing their jobs, and they announced strike action yesterday afternoon. So it's been going on since this morning.
What are they hoping to accomplish with the strikes, Andre?
Well, I'm hopefully reducing the number of the cuts. The MEAA is asserting that these are a number of very experienced journalists that will be going, photojournalists, and they'll be being replaced with an agency, namely Getty Images, which does have a presence in Australia, but mostly with sport and not in the news journalism that a lot of these great photographers are well known for.
And that has big implications for us upcoming journalists who might have been shadowing these people.
Well, that's very true. It's a very concerning move, and it's very sort of evident of the massive structural change that's going on in the journalism world at the moment.
Yes,
in
and
particular, in sort of more
our
traditional-
multimedia reporters were there checking it out this morning, so we might have a look at what they discovered.
Sarah Naven, UOW update.
That was really interesting, Alice.
Yeah, well, at least, it's exposed. We know about it.
Well, the people in the newsroom have been doing some really good work, but Andre, that's not the only thing in the news. Coming up on Tuesday is the budget release. What's been going on in the news in regards to that?
Well, there's been a lot of interesting things happening. I'm sure a number of the viewers would have seen, if not directly through the papers and on the television, the protests on Q&A, and they're related to some of the proposed ideas that are being floated around about the budget on education, namely cuts to university funding. But as most of the time with budget, we don't actually know a terrible great deal of what's actually happening, other than that there is a lot of floating of ideas and speculation, namely that there's a debt tax, a debt levy being proposed by the government on people on higher incomes above 150,000. The Sydney Morning Herald covered that a fair bit today, speculating that if it was on the top 7% of taxpayers, it would draw in about $700 million, according to some of the researchers they interviewed. But there's also a lot of tax to other kinds of welfare, such as benefits, disability benefits, and unemployment payments.
Now, Andre,
So there's a lot of
if the Liberal government does do that tax levy, that would break their initial election promise of not taxing in their first budget. What would that mean for the coalition?
Well, look, I think considering that the coalition did campaign on trust and on the basis of no new taxes, it will damage a lot of the trust the electorate has in them. And a number of commentators have said that. It's not necessarily the policy's a bad idea. It's that it's the trust issue, and I think that that's what's going to it could end up plaguing the coalition over the next couple of years, as the no carbon tax pledge plagued the Labor government.
And we've also had a few changes in legislation in the past few months, one being the recognition of a third category of sex. What news have you got in terms of diversity for us this week?
Well, as I'm sure a number of yours would also know, the High Court ruled that the state of New South Wales had to recognise Nori as not having a specific gender. And that's coming off the back of a lot of campaigning in that sort of area in gender diversity and sex diversity. I do believe that a number of UOW students were out today doing a rainbow crossing, a DIY rainbow crossing, which started off as a movement after the New South Wales government tore up the rainbow crossing on Oxford Street, and has now formed into a worldwide movement for LGBTI rights. And I do believe Brittany Cartner filed a report this morning speaking to one of the organisers.
Hi guys, I'm down with Julie Croft and we're in front of a very colourful crossing in front of the library here. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about what you're doing?
I'd love to. The rainbow crossing here is made out of chalk, and the Ally Network got together this morning, and the Ally Network consists of more than 100 staff and many students who are friends of people who identify with lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender or intersex group. So we're celebrating equality, recognising that we can all be different, but we're all still the same. Last year we had a rainbow crossing, and that commemorates the removal of the rainbow crossing in Oxford Street at Taylor Square.
And I understand that today is a bit more about relaunching the Ally Network.
So the Ally Network here at the university did launch a year ago, and we're using this again as an anniversary, just to remind people that we're there and to encourage people to come and join us.
Thanks Julie for talking to us. Back to you guys.
Oh, that was more good work from the UOW TV team.
Yeah, we hope that rainbow stays in more ways than one.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us, Andre. Now we're going to go to a quick break, and while we're there, we're going to show you what's on in Wollongong.